In 2025, buying a car normally results in losing money.
Depreciation, expensive finance and maintenance.
All can result in you being upside down on your finance deal and not being able to get out. But what if I told you the answer to that problem is to buy a supercar?
How does that work?
Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how buying a supercar could mean that you drive the car of your dreams without losing a penny. In fact, you might even make some dosh.
We have all been there. We find the car of our dreams and head to the dealer. The car is perfect and you offer the salesman a price you want to pay. They play with the numbers and then miraculously make the deal work. And you drive away happy in your new shiny car. Until 2 years later and you are left in big trouble. To get out of that finance deal, you owe more than the car is actually worth because the car value has now crashed. And the deposit you paid, well, that is never coming back.
This happens for one simple reason: depreciation.
Even if you bought the car outright with no finance, the fact the car has depreciated so much, you lose massive amounts of money.
The only winners are the dealers and the finance company. It's these guys who are making the big bucks. Now I think I can solve that problem by finding a car which appreciates in value. There aren't many of those around, but there are some very special supercars which have that potential. And I know what you're thinking, Mark, you have finally lost the plot. I can't afford a supercar, but later on I will show it might be a lot less money than you actually think, compared to even an everyday sensible-ish car.
I have picked cars which are good buys and potentially will not depreciate in value, and fingers crossed, actually turn a profit.
So let's get on the road and see if we can find the perfect supercar that will not cost a penny. And if we find it, I'm going to buy it today. Spoiler alert, we do find the perfect car, but you have to wait till later to see exactly which one we went for. Now the car we are currently in is proof that this concept actually works. Now I bought this car, the Mercedes C63 Black Series, for £91,000, and right now it's up to £150. But why and how?
When we are looking for the channel's next car today, we are looking to follow the profitability of the C63 Black Series proven formula. Number one, the obvious, it needs to be a good car. Good looks, drive and sound. And importantly, needs to be reliable. Number two, it needs to be rare, ideally a special edition with very few cars for sale. We need supply and demand in our favour. Number three, the big factor, the year of manufacture. We are on a buying hunt for a car of a certain age.
I really do love this car. Because it increased so much in value, I actually bought a second car.
I bought a black four-seater version with only 3,000 miles on the clock for £95,000, and that has also increased in value. Now if I sold both my cars today, I could turn a profit of around £100,000.
And on top of that, I get to enjoy this car and share it with you guys, all while it's still making money. This car is that good, I would actually consider buying a third car, but I've experienced this car already and I want to try a different brand of classic. So let's see the first car that we're going to look at today. Now this could definitely be my next potential investment supercar.
This is the epic BMW E92 GTS. It's the crazy extreme version of the already brilliant M3.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. This is a BMW. In theory, it's not a supercar. But let me tell you just how special this car is. It's orange, it's got nice wheels, it's got a carbon fibre spoiler, but this again is our old favourite, supply and demand. They only ever made 138 of these, and it's a plaque car, so it makes it extremely collectible.
And even better, only 17 of them are right-hand drive. This is a real unicorn.
This is where it gets very special.
That's not a normal M3, is it?
Bucket seats, Alcantara, carbon fibre, dual pedals, roll cage and harnesses, and a fire extinguisher because it's dangerous.
Now this car is a very similar alternative to my Mercedes C63 Black Series, and I've had my eye on this very special GTS for quite a while. But That has pickled my brain a little bit, as I've watched them over the last few years keep getting more expensive. In fact, 2 years ago, I nearly bought one for £110,000, but I stupidly thought it was too much money. Then, not even a year ago, I turned down one at £125,000 because the price was too high. I never quite pulled the trigger, and the one we're looking at today is even more money. But now today, I finally have the chance to drive this very special car, and hopefully it's as good as I imagined.
Ready to go? Harnesses are so cool. There is actually seat belts in this car, but it should be illegal to use them. Good. Just lean forward. You're gonna have to help me out. Okay, what makes this so special? Now, obviously it's an M3, and they've never ever made a bad M3, and they've had 40 years of the different generations. E30, E36, E46, this, the E92, the F80, and now the G80. And this is what makes this M3 so special. It's the only V8 they've ever made, and this is a naturally aspirated 4.4 litre huge noisy rocket ship. Squeaky brakes, rattling roll cage, go. How's your harnesses? Extremely uncomfortable, but I don't care. This is so special. I've always wanted one of these, and this is just making me smile. Look at the back. Got your fire extinguisher ready? You don't need friends when you got a car like this. There's no radio. All you've got is to listen to that, look at this, and stare at last, a plaqued car. Why do not everybody do a special edition with a black car? And there's a reason, which we're going to do a video on one day, is because they lie to us.
Let's go to our investment criteria. Well, it's definitely a good car, and you don't get much more limited than this. But what about the age? First, let me explain my logic. Statistically, an adult has the most disposable cash when they are between 35 to 45 years old. And if they spend that cash on a second car, they are most likely to buy the supercar of their dreams from when they were younger. So when those teenage dreams are fulfilled, usually called a midlife crisis car buy, you have a 35-year-old driving around in his dream supercar. But when lots of 35-year-olds want the same car, they all get bought up, which creates a supply and demand shortage. So those cars raise in value. So there is a sweet spot to buy up that dream supercar before they are all snapped up and the prices have gone too high. And I think that sweet spot is a 15-year-old car. So with this logic, if a car is worthy of being a dream car and rare enough to be a limited supply and also is 15 years old, we have the perfect formula for an investment car, the next future classic. And this M3 GTS was made in 2010, so I think this is the perfect turning point to start to raise in value. These cars are sat right now at around £140,000.
Wow. Right, huge thank you to Adam from Supercar Driver. Give him a follow, the link is in the description, because this car is amazing. Wow, look at that colour. You can only have this car in orange, which, as you know, would soon wrap in matte black. I've always wanted one of these, and this car is very much if you know, you know type deal. It's so similar in so many ways to my C63 Black Series, and I'm sure many of you had no idea this car even existed. And it being that rare is the key here. So this car might already be the one to be joining us at home. Should we even bother continuing this video? Save some time, go down the pub. And by the end of this video, we are going to have one of the cars we see today on the drive. Right, let's go see next a proper supercar.
The Ferrari 430 Scuderia, lighter, louder and scarier track-focused limited edition Italian rocket ship. With how a classic Ferrari raises in value, this is always going to be a huge contender.
An absolute epic car, and it is beautiful. Like the colour?
Yeah, it's not what I was expecting. I think just because you said Ferrari, I was thinking red.
Yeah, standard. And this car is like brand new, but come up to the back. This to me is where a 430 Scuderia is amazing. Love a bit of mesh and a ducktail.
It's very simple, isn't it?
Very simple, but I think that's what, again, when we're buying a classic car for obviously the purposes of investment, this looks dated, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I really, really don't. Right, Scuderia. Do you know what it stands for?
Scuba
Sounds
diving.
watery. Oh no, that's scuba.
It means stable.
As in horse stable.
Yeah, because of its horsepower.
As in, doesn't crash.
But is it?
Look, it's like our house now, carpets. This is 17 years old, and they make a seat like that.
That is fancy.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Very, very, very cool dash. Fire extinguisher as standard. All of these are the auto gearbox, which is called the F1. Back then, 2008, it was cool to not be a manual. That sounds amazing.
Look at the dash.
See, again, very retro, which is good. That's not a bad thing.
And it doesn't matter where you stand around it. There's no horrible angle. It just looks good from wherever you are.
Big distant calipers, considering it's like 17 years old.
Does that mean it can stop on a stamp?
Maybe that's why it's stable.
But these huge brakes and stripped out interior is why this is a car I really want to own. The lightness and better brakes make it around a racetrack fast. Very fast.
So they went head to head with the Enzo, and I believe around Fiorano they were quicker than the Enzo, which I think tells you everything you need to know.
And the car it beat, the Enzo, which is £4.2 million. And the 430 Scuderia is a fraction of that cost, which I'll let you know a little bit later. And that's what is good about this brand. Ferrari, as an investment car goes, historically, they are by far the safest bet.
And it's got an Inconel exhaust system, which was specially made for the Scuderia. So, and a lot less sound deadening in the cabin as well. So when you're driving it at full chat, like you're hearing it, it's I think it is the rawest. I think it is the rawest of them all. So
I think it was a good time though, wasn't it? A good era around that sort of time, before too many electronics, before too many government sort of like hurdles to jump over.
And that's another reason why I want an older investment supercar. No hybrid, no quiet box ticking. This is a car made in an era when the manufacturers did not care about your neighbours. They didn't realise the ice was melting, and as a driver, your destiny was in your own hands and not a clever computer. Now this car is for sale at £200,000, but there is one worry for me.
Now one thing that this car hasn't got going for it as an investment, if there was a negative, is they made 2,000 of them. But right now, which is bizarre, for sale, coupes, 430 Scuderia, there's 2 for sale in the whole of the UK.
So this has a curveball. It's not the most limited manufacturer run, but it actually proves people are keeping hold of these cars. The owners are seeing them turn upwards in value, and they're staying in their garages. It also is the perfect year of manufacture, but we have struck a problem.
Now, unfortunately, the seller would not even let us drive this car. He wanted a deposit put down before he gave us the keys. But the problem is today we're going on a search to buy one of these 4 cars. And if it was the Ferrari we'd choose, I'd have to gamble and stump up the money before we'd even tried it. Difficult twist, as this car is an investment dream. Supply and demand and historic prices show that the Ferraris are the safest bet out there. Now, unlike the BMW, with Ferrari we have a lot of examples of rare Ferraris appreciating in money. And my God, there are loads. And today's choice must be about investment and not just personal choice. We need to think big picture and maximise our chance of turning a profit.
The 355 Challenge has already rocketed in value. The 360 Challenge Stradale also done exactly the same. All are rising in value and continuing to make their current owners profit. And now with this 15-year sweet spot, it's the 430 Scuderia's time to shine.
Owning a classic Ferrari is a milestone in itself, but this is a car I could see myself owning. It's a cool looking car which I'd love to drive and not just look at. This is already a tough decision, and we aren't even halfway through our search. Right, we're here at VVS for the last two cars of this epic search. And both of these cars, I think, are going to be fantastic to drive and great investments. Starting with this, a Porsche 997 GT2. And at the time, the fastest Porsche they made.
Now we are talking. This is a truly legendary car of all the 911 lineups. They took an insanely fast turbo 911, made it rear-wheel drive, stripped it out, and the end result was a car nicknamed the Widowmaker. It is dangerous. But hopefully, Jane hasn't done her research.
And if you think since 1964 they're making 911s, and this is the 7th generation, and Porsche do not make a bad car. That's why this could be a great investment, because it's a great car. Look at the caliper. Look at the size of that. That's about the same size as a handbrake caliper these days. Like the shark gills. Right, smell. Check this out. Have a sniff in there. What's that remind you of?
India.
Right, it smells like a classic car. It's very simple in here, and that's what a GT2 was. Beautiful seats. Look at that. Do you think that's Apple CarPlay? And look, that's still like, even today.
Sounds like your name.
Now that is a 3.6 litre flat six.
I just see a coat hanger.
Instead of that.
Coat hanger.
Oh.
I don't think anyone's ever described a Porsche like
That's a
that.
Porsche. So there's the intakes.
You can see your hand.
I'm not joking.
Looks like you bought it now.
Right, bad idea.
Now I am free from the GT2, I can tell you that there were 1,200 cars produced. Quite a big number, but way less than the Ferrari 430. But better for investment, I think most of these are in a ditch somewhere, and that is why in the whole of the UK right now, there is only 5 for sale.
Yeah, I've never been a massive fan of a Porsche. But this isn't just about me being a fan of a car for this video. This is about buying a car which you can use and it increases in value and a safe place to put your money. So this is definitely a contender.
Do you like how it looks?
Are you actually buying a car?
What do you think we've come on the day for?
Window shopping's different.
What are we window shopping for? We spent the day off work.
Could have gone to a flipping carpet shop.
This car was built in 2008, so nearly bang on the money in age. But I've never been in one of these. It's time to see if it is a good car, or is it truly a Widowmaker?
Very classic key. Look at that. Right, jump in.
Well, I'll see you in 10 minutes.
You're not coming with me.
I'm not getting in a car with you that's called the Widowmaker.
Are you nervous? I am nervous because, like, it's called a Widowmaker. Now, they didn't just make that name up, did they? It's called a Widowmaker. Like, how can it wheel spin now? Like, how can it wheel spin at 70 miles an hour? Sorry, 60. Now it feels old. Now it definitely feels old. Still quick, isn't it? Yeah. I love how short the gearbox is. Now this is the fastest of the cars that we're going to be looking at today, and it does 204 miles per hour, and it does 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds if it didn't wheel spin all the time. That's foot flat down, foot flat down, foot flat down. Now that is the world's biggest turbo lag. Now that is why these were dangerous, because you put your foot down and you weren't quite sure when it was going to come in, and my God, when it came in, it came in. So you had horrific understeer and then mass slap bang oversteer hedge.
And in fairness, because of the turbo lag, when you're driving this car normally at slow speed, it's both comfortable and safe-ish.
And that's the great thing about a car like this, is you can use it as a daily, be sensible, or this hasn't got the technology of a modern day car. So it can be dangerous if you want it to be.
This car is from an era that is so different to today's supercars. My SF90, for example, is lightning fast, very comfortable, and the cleverest car I have ever owned. But there is a definite disconnection from driver to machine. The safer these cars get, they have watered down the feeling of a true supercar.
So let's find out about the figures to whether this car, which is beautiful and amazing, is it going to be a good investment and is it going to make you money? Right, Dan, everybody, VVS.
See you again.
Thank you for letting us drive this.
No, it's a pleasure.
Now, big one. Where have these been recently and where are they today?
So the prices people can ask, but factually we sold one, I think it was 3 years ago now, and that was around 120, I think 115, 120. So now they're at 150, so yeah, probably an average of 10 grand a year increase really.
So this car is for sale at £150,000. But importantly, if I bought this car 3 years ago, it would already be up £30,000 and I would have enjoyed the car.
So for me, this is a huge selling point. The last few years in the UK, it's been tough and anything worth a lot of money has been a problem. And this has ignored all those trends and raised it in value. This also shows that our 15-year rule actually works, as this car is now 17 years and as Dan showed, it's already gone up in value. For this one, I wish I could turn the calendar back. The future collectible value is extremely bright on this car. So, is this the one? If we can say that's done 10 grand increase each and every year, then that is great value, free motoring, and a sound investment.
In Porsche, you generally don't get the big bills with like you do with some cars, so I think that's why people like Porsche for that fact, is you just don't get big bills.
No doubt £150,000 is an insane amount of money. However, don't put it off yet, as we have found a way to buy these cars for less than a BMW M5. First, we have one final car to see, and interestingly, one I have actually owned 15 years ago when it was new, and I was one of those who lost the initial money.
All right, next car, Lamborghini. It's not this one, but I want to give you an example of an amazing investment. Okay, so I got offered a Murcielago SV in 2015, £395,000 with 2,300 miles on. This has 4,000 miles on, 10 years later. This is worth £900,000. Just under £1 million. Obviously I didn't have the money, but my God, like what an investment. So what we've been looking for today is not anything on that scale, but a car you can use and you're not going to lose any money and hopefully make a bit. But next, we have a Lamborghini, which has been on my radar and on my wish list for years.
This is the legendary Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera, simply the ultimate model in the car which rocketed Lamborghini to the brand we know and love today. Without this car, it's highly unlikely Lamborghini would still be here. Now, even better for this car, this is the Gen 1, and that's a big difference, which I will explain a little later.
This is a very, very beautiful car. Very. Carbon fibre, like so many different places. Beautiful wing mirrors. Come and have a look at the front end. It's like somebody's got a lump of cheese and just gone. Love it?
I love it.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's just amazing. And let's be honest with you, any car that's got super written on it, you don't get any better, do you?
Superleggera, do you know what that means?
Super leggy.
It's a good guess. Super light.
The Superlight Superleggera gives you a lot of extras over the normal Gallardo. Plastic legs and window, carbon fibre, spoiler, splitter and diffuser, and lighter wheels. But it's not just weight. It's a tuned engine, creating extra horsepower, and I'm very happy to say it has a louder exhaust. But none of that is a touch on, in my opinion, this has the most beautiful interior I have ever seen on a car. Ready? Cue music. Inside this car is nothing but Alcantara and carbon fibre. Yes, it's extreme, but for me it somehow still looks comfortable, classy and usable.
Look at that door card.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Such a cool car. And what's surprising about this car now? This is by far the cheapest car we're going to see today, and it's a Lamborghini.
Still not carpet.
So as I mentioned earlier, why is it so important that this is a Gen 1 Superleggera?
Right, the main difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2. First of all, the front end. Gen 1, lump of cheese cut straight off. Well, the Gen 2 had like a much more modern look, very similar to the Huracan, but that's not what we're looking for here. We're looking for a classic, a collectible classic, and that's what a Gen 1 is.
Now, I had a Gen 2. This is actually my car. I had it new in 2011 in triple layer orange, which for the record, I didn't wrap matte black. It was reliable and a fantastic car, but we are talking investment here, which is why I think now I would personally buy the Gen 1.
The big difference is this little bad boy here. Now, Lamborghini had been sold by Audi, okay? But this is a pure Lamborghini engine, the 5 litre. Gen 2, Audi got a lot more involved and arguably made a better car, and a 5.2 litre engine. But this here, Gen 1, 2008, was still very, very Lamborghini.
So this is one of the last true Lamborghinis ever made.
Now, without doubt, I love a Lamborghini and I love this, but this isn't just about my taste. We need to get on the road, see if it's usable, see if you can use it as a daily, but more importantly, get it back here, speak to Dan and see if this is a great investment for the future. And then we're going to make a decision at one of the 4 cars we've seen today. One of them is going to be our next investment car.
Sounds like the KTM standard exhaust.
We've got a petrol light on. E. Do you know what E stands for? Enough. E for enough.
So far, this car has ticked some boxes, but this car does have a potential negative, and that is reliability.
And it's a clutch, okay? So people can go through clutches very easily and they're expensive. So there's a way of driving these. Now, I learnt this and I still have the same habit now, which isn't a bad habit to have. So this C gear is very, very special because it's almost like a manual gearbox, but just with an automated gear change instead of a shifter H pattern. So when you pull away, you have to get off the clutch because it's the same as having a manual gearbox and just dragging the clutch for ages, and that's how you can burn the clutch out. So to give you an example, to pull away, it's just like a manual gearbox. So you want to see it's still slipping the clutch. So you want to be going that fast as minimum. That's as slow as you want to be going in first gear, which then causes an absolute nightmare in traffic jams. So you just have to be selfish and leave massive gaps and get off the clutch. Simple as that. What a bad gear change. And you see, that's the difference. A modern day gear change is like dush, dush, dush. It's faster than the blink of the eye. This was nothing like that. So fast gear change, ready? But again, that's what makes this a classic car, which instantly makes me smile. I love it already. I'm gonna have whiplash from changing gear. This is what a car's all about. That's exactly what a car's all about, isn't it?
Now, if you know our channel, you know I love a Lamborghini. The looks, the sound, and the theatre. But I have sold some recently with a bigger picture to try different brands. But as much as my heart loves this car, this is not just for me. This is about investment. They only made 680 of these, and the Gen 1 is super, super rare. It's definitely a good car, but there are concerns on that clutch. It has the potential to cost more than it actually increases, but I feel I can avoid this because I know how to drive it. This is a 2008 car, so again, it's 17 years old. But just like the Porsche, this car is already on its way up. So the price, VVS are asking £102,000. 2 years ago, when this car came back on my radar, they were at £80,000. So just like the Porsche GT2, this has steadily increased £1,000 every month, which obviously is huge.
Those are the 4 options that we have on an investment supercar, and there are some great examples of great cars from the world's best brands, and all potentially hold their money or even turn a profit. Now, I'm still unsure which one to go for, but meanwhile I reached out to a friend who can make these cars more affordable.
We have come here, Lillian Stanley Finance. You will probably recognise Helen from our previous videos, and she specialises in getting low rates to beat those main dealers.
Hi Helen.
Hiya, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank
Nice
you.
to see you again.
And you. Right, we've been supercar investment shopping. We found a Lamborghini Gallardo and we're going to use that as the example, and we want to figure out, and hopefully you can show us, how affordable a Lamborghini could possibly be.
Yeah, we can do that, no problem.
A lot of boring math later.
Normal mark, intelligent mark.
It lifts your IQ.
Thank
I
you.
need-
So we've compared this Lamborghini to a BMW M5.
Yep, so you've got both cars, 102,000, both deposits exactly the same, 2-year terms exactly the same. The Lamborghini, £617 per month. The BMW, £1,608 per month.
So it's £1,000 more to drive around in a BMW than it is a Lamborghini.
Exactly that.
That's crazy. But why such a massive difference?
Well, if you look at the residual values of both of these agreements, you can see the finance company recognises that the Lamborghini is going to lose far less money than the BMW.
So even they take into account that this could potentially be an investment car.
Yeah.
So in theory, any investment supercars, because we looked at a Ferrari and a Porsche, we could potentially have a real decent deal.
Yeah, they'll all be very similar with holding their residual value.
With all the same deposit and mileage, the BMW M3 GTS, which is 40 grand more in value, is still £400 a month less than the BMW M5. The Porsche GT2 at £150,000 is £1,194 a month. And the Ferrari, that's 200 grand's worth of car at £1,800 a month. So it's a similar price payment to the M5, even though the Ferrari is worth twice as much money. Which one would you choose? Because I still need to make a decision.
So a massive thank you to Helen and the team at Lillian Stanley, as they have also sponsored this video. So if you're looking to buy the car of your dreams or refinance your current car, Lillian Stanley have some fantastic low rates, so you can save some money compared to that dealer. Head over to the link in the description to use their online calculator to see what money you can save. Thank you, Lillian Stanley, for sponsoring this video. So this proves what this video is all about, that a Lamborghini could be a lesser monthly payment than the BMW. Even a finance company agree with what we're saying. I have massively enjoyed every single car that we have seen today, and if Jane wasn't watching this video right now, I would like all of them.
And I'm watching you lot as well. 75% of you are not subscribed to our channel, and if you were, we'd be on 1 million subs by now, so hit that button.
And I think every one of the cars has potential to be a great investment. Which one can we drive, enjoy, collect, and hopefully even make a profit? So with this decision being so hard to make, I called an expert for a second opinion. Evening.
Hello.
Right.
How are we?
Not bad, you?
Yeah, good, not bad.
Now, on your advice, now this isn't about, let's not talk about sort of personal taste to me right now.
Yep.
Or you. Looking for a car as an investment, okay? Run you through first. Porsche 997 GT2, Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera, Ferrari 430 Scuderia, and BMW E92 M3 GTS.
My loyalties always lie with Ferrari, but out of all the cars that you've mentioned, the 430 Scuderia is probably the most mass-produced one out of all those cars, which tends to give me the opinion of it's probably not going to be as in demand and sought after as the
So
others.
that's supply and demand thing again.
Supply and demand, everything's supply and demand. The M3 GTS is not my cup of tea at all, but that's a super rare car, but I think you've missed the boat.
And I know Jane will hate the M3 GTS.
Oh, it looks like you've modded it.
Yeah.
It basically looks like you bought an M3 and then you've Mark McCanned it. 997 GT2, good car. The 997 is a good variant of Porsche.
Yeah.
996 is the worst variant of Porsche. There is not a 996 that is in demand. And GT2 996, they're pennies.
And then Gallardo Superleggera, but Gen 1.
Okay, so I've recently just sold a Gen 2 Performante, and I couldn't believe how low in numbers they were.
Yeah.
180 worldwide.
Yeah. Back then, Lamborghinis didn't sell.
No, that car never done well.
They didn't sell.
No, I think that car potentially, I mean, the value on a Superleggera today, Gen 1, decent car is 100. That car has the full potential to double in value in 3 years.
Interesting advice, but I did have my heart set on that BMW M3 GTS for so long now. And we know the Ferrari is a super safe bet. This is a massive decision.
This has been a journey which has shocked me about borrowing money. People have been investing in houses for years and lots of people now choose crypto. But is there a gap in the market for us petrolheads to make money in what we all love, the motor car?
So let me introduce to you the Mark McCann 64 YouTube channel, brand new investment supercar.
I went for the Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera Gen 1.
And I feel that this one has the best opportunity. And look at it, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Bright colour of a brand new car.
It is beautiful. And to be fair, if you'd have bought an orange one, you'd have only wrapped it.
True. And like, you've got to think that if you are lucky enough to be in a position to be able to afford a second car for the weekend, that maybe a classic supercar like the ones we've shown you today could be cheaper and even turn a profit than any modern day sports car available on the market today. So win-win.
Please let me know in the comments if you think I've made the right decision, and also which one of the 5 cars would you have gone for?
See you next Tuesday, 6 p.m.